Welcome back to Movie Recaps. Today I will show you a horror, thriller film from 2021, titled Superhost. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. Teddy and Claire are the couple behind Superhost, a YouTube channel dedicated to reviewing vacation houses for rent. They were very successful once upon a time, but lately, they've been losing subscribers at an alarming rate. This has created some tension in their relationship, especially since they've been borrowing money from Teddy's parents to survive, but he's planning to make things better by proposing to Claire during their next trip. Their next destination is a gorgeous house in the mountains that they had tried to get for months, and it was always booked solid, until now. The host's username is BettyLou52, and they have a nearly spotless record. When they arrive there though, they aren't able to get inside because the code they were given for the alarm isn't working no matter how many times they try. Calling the host is impossible as well because there's no signal, so while waiting, they decide to record some clips for their video. The couple is suddenly startled by a person appearing behind them. It's the host, whose real name is Rebecca, and the way she looks at them is rather creepy, to say the least. Her laughter is kinda disturbing as well. Rebecca's come over when she saw Teddy and Claire waiting outside on the security cameras, and she apologizes when they tell her about the alarm code, explaining that she changed it after the last guest didn't want to leave and forgot to send the new one to them. After giving them the new code, Rebecca shows them the inside the house, which is as beautiful as the website said. While Teddy checks out the restroom, Claire takes out the camera to film some more and introduce the host to their audience, but Rebecca turns around as she yells no when the camera is on her. This is strange because Claire had talked to the host while booking the house and explained what they did, and the host had agreed to appear on the video. Rebecca changes her mind and accepts to be recorded after saying it's the busy season and she thought the YouTubers weren't coming until next week. Teddy returns to tell her the toilet isn't flushing, so Rebecca promises she'll come back tomorrow with some tools to fix it. Once Rebecca is gone, the couple films a tour of the house, showing off various things like the bed and the oven, but also the peculiarities. The windows have no covering, a storage room in the basement has a do not enter sign, security cameras are everywhere, and there's a cat room but no cat. Claire isn't very happy with the video but tells Teddy to upload it anyway, which will take a while because the internet here is incredibly slow. They go out to the balcony to have a little talk about their situation, since Claire is worried they've already peaked and there's no coming back, but Teddy tells her that if that's true, then he's at least glad they've peaked together. Later, in the middle of the night, Teddy can't sleep, so he goes to check on the video, but it hasn't finished uploading yet. Needing some air, he turns off the alarm and goes out to the balcony, where he can see Rebecca standing near the road and staring at him with glowing eyes. When she raises her hand to wave at him, he's startled by something suddenly appearing next to him, but it's just Claire. When he looks back at the road, Rebecca is gone. The next morning, they find out their channel has been suspended, and Claire blames it on a bad review they recently uploaded. She leaves the house to get a better signal on her phone in order to call the YouTube helpline and comes across Rebecca, who has come to fix the toilet and continues to awkwardly interact with Claire even while she's trying to tell her she's on the phone and can't talk to her right now. Rebecca goes inside after Claire tells her to see Teddy, and she starts working on the broken toilet. She takes it easy at first, but since the toilet still won't flush, frustration takes over her and her movements become a little more violent. Eventually she gives up though, and tells Teddy she'll need to bring in an expert. As she hopes aloud that this won't impact their review, Rebecca comes back inside and tells them that thanks to the spotty signal, she lost the call after she finished giving them their account information. Moments later, the couple goes for a walk in the forest. Claire wonders why they're doing this if they're bleeding subscribers, and Teddy says he simply likes making these videos with her. This isn't enough for her, she's still irritated by the fact they can't even pay their own rent, and so she decides to cut the walk short and return to the house. While looking through the footage they've taken so far, Claire can't help looking at a clip of Rebecca over and over where her face looks particularly disturbing. Later that night, the couple is awakened by some noises coming from outside the house. Claire wants to call the police but she has no signal, so she sends Teddy to double check the alarm is on. He finds that it is, indeed, working well, but he turns it off and on again just in case. He's about to go back to his room when he hears another noise, this one coming from the bathroom. When he goes there to see what caused it, he finds the toilet is working now, and what had been clogging it up is a set of teeth. The next morning, Teddy wakes up to find a message from YouTube saying their account is active again. In a better mood now, he goes downstairs in his underwear and finds Rebecca in the kitchen, making breakfast for them as a way to make up for all the trouble they've been having in the house. Teddy rushes back upstairs, and the couple doesn't come down until Rebecca is gone. Claire admits the breakfast is delicious and, finding the whole situation rather amusing, she jokingly thanks the security camera for the food. But they're surprised to hear Rebecca replying to them through the camera as if she's been watching them all this time. Afterward, they record a trip update for their channel, and Claire wants to tell the viewers about their crazy host, but Teddy points out Rebecca may be listening. Since that room is the best one to film at, Teddy decides to turn off the security camera and almost gets hurt by a stone that suddenly comes flying from outside and breaks the window. The couple rushes out of the house and finds Vera, the owner of the house they gave a bad review of. She's the one that reported their channel and broke the window, furious because their review ruined her business and caused her to sell the house. Rebecca arrives then and, after seeing what happened to the window, tells Vera to go away or she'll call the police. At first, Vera doesn't listen, because she wants to warn Rebecca about the couple's ill intentions, but only manages to get Rebecca angry, causing her to yell at her and threaten her with violence. This scares Vera enough to finally leave. Now that she has some free time, Rebecca accepts to film that interview for the review of her house. She's rather nervous, so in order to calm down, she yells very loudly before listening to the questions Teddy has for her. Rebecca tells her the house used to be her father's and she got it after he passed away. She thinks it's great she has this building as a way to remember him, and it's easy to keep an eye on it because she has a much smaller place nearby. Getting into the renting business was a result of her thinking the house shouldn't stay empty. After spacing out for some seconds, she answers the next question, telling them about the guest she remembers the most, an elderly couple that allowed her to spend the holidays with them. Rebecca starts spacing out again with tears in her eyes, so Teddy ends the interview there. Later in the evening, while reviewing the footage, the couple notices how disturbing Rebecca looks on the screen, and Claire decides they should get more of her because people love watching lunatics. After she goes to bed, Teddy records a quick secret update, telling the viewers that he'll propose to Claire the next day, completely unaware of the shadow spying on him through the window. Sometime during the night, while both vloggers are sleeping, the video with the interview stops uploading because the internet is down, and Rebecca spends a long while watching them sleep with anger in her eyes. The next day, Teddy and Claire go for another walk in the woods. Claire is trying to record more footage for their videos, but Teddy makes her put the camera down so he can propose. Claire happily accepts, but after they hug, she brings the camera over again, thinking it's all an act to get more views on their channel. Hurt and disappointed, Teddy tries to leave, but Claire stops him and apologizes, promising they'll talk about this when they return home, no cameras allowed. When they get back to the house, the alarm starts ringing and the code won't shut it down. Rebecca's voice suddenly comes out from one of the security cameras, apologizing for the broken panel as the alarm finally goes off. After she tells them she'll come over to fix it, Claire notices their computer in the middle of the living room floor, playing Rebecca's interview. Teddy finds another weird thing when he picks up the mail. There's a letter for Betty and Lou Jorgensen, which matches Betty Lou 52, the username they talked to when renting this house. Now scared, Teddy starts packing, wanting to leave the house as soon as possible. Claire is hesitant because she thinks there's an opportunity for a great video here, but when the security cameras start taking turns beeping, she changes her mind and rushes to the car with Teddy. The couple drives away, thinking they're safe, but they find themselves having to stop the car when they find Rebecca standing in the middle of the road and waving at them. She doesn't seem too bothered by them leaving earlier than expected, but she does insist on showing them one last surprise and asks them to bring the camera with them. Teddy doesn't want to, but Claire convinces him to change his mind, saying a bit more footage of her could help make a great video, and if they go big, they won't have to borrow money anymore. With the camera rolling, they follow Rebecca into the woods, where she teases Claire for the lack of ring in her hand before yelling and spacing out again before repeating the introduction the couple usually uses in their videos. As they walk deeper into the forest, she also tries to jump scare them, laughing like a maniac as she takes them to the final thing she wants to show them. It's Vera, sitting under a tree with her hands tied up and tape covering her mouth. Rebecca takes out a knife and makes Claire record everything, threatening to kill Vera if they don't. She explains she feels bad that their stay wasn't very good and that she's learned the couple isn't as perfect as they pretend to be on their videos, so she's decided they should capitalize on this. Without hesitation, she crouches next to Vera and stabs her, which distresses Teddy and Claire greatly and causes them to drop the camera. Rebecca freaks out and asks them to record this properly for the channel, but her indignation suddenly disappears when she helps Vera, who isn't dead, stand up, removing the tape and untying her. It turns out it was all a prank to teach them a lesson for what they did to Vera's business, and Rebecca even steals the camera from them and gives it to Vera to sell it so she can get back at least some of the money she's lost. When the two women try to leave, Teddy asks Rebecca about what happened to Betty and Lou. Seeing as she's been found out, Rebecca takes off her jacket and apologizes to Vera before stabbing her for real this time, first in the face, then repeatedly in her stomach. Teddy and Claire immediately start running away and Rebecca takes the chance to pick up the camera to record herself while going after them. The couple decides to go back to the house, thinking the car isn't an option because Rebecca will wait for them there. At first, they lock themselves up inside, but then Teddy decides to go out again to try to get enough signal to call the police. He doesn't last long though. As soon as he hears some noises in the woods, he runs back inside with Claire, who is now trying to alert the cops by using the special button on the alarm, but it isn't working. Suddenly, Rebecca appears outside, looking at them through the window with their car keys in her hand. They follow her movements through the window, and when she approaches the door, they put their bodies against it to stop her from entering. Claire tries to convince her that they will delete all the footage and won't tell anyone about what happened, but Rebecca doesn't believe them and just leaves. Desperate to find another way out, Claire enters the forbidden storage room while Teddy keeps an eye on the windows. In there, she finds a sleeping bag, a dish with a mug, and a working computer, indicating Rebecca lied about having a place nearby. She's been living in the basement all this time. Through the computer, Claire gets access to all the security cameras, and she watches Teddy get a fireplace poker to defend herself before stopping in front of one of the cameras. Because she doesn't have access to sound, she doesn't know Rebecca is talking to Teddy, telling him she killed Betty, Lou, and their cat for not allowing her to stay in the house with them. She almost got away with it, but the couple had shown up right before she could escape. Claire realizes the computer has internet access, so she records a quick video for her channel asking their viewers to call for help. As it starts uploading, Rebecca appears behind her, revealing she's been using her phone to talk through the camera microphones, which allows her to move around the house undetected while Teddy continues to stare at the camera on the wall. The staring stops, however, when Teddy hears a scream coming from the storage room, so he runs in there ready to save his girlfriend. But it's too late. Rebecca is grabbing Claire by her hair, and as soon as Teddy enters the room, she kills her. She goes after Teddy next, managing to wound him on the stomach before he walks back and closes the door between them. Walking slowly because of the pain, he leaves the house and falls to the ground, only to stand up again when she sees Rebecca escaping the basement through a hidden door on the wall. She brings the camera with her, and as he starts running away, she keeps recording herself while talking like an actual YouTuber. As he leaves a trail of blood behind him, making it easy for her to follow him, Teddy keeps on desperately running and falls to the ground when he trips over something, the bodies of Lou and his cat. This motivates him to ignore the pain and run faster, finally making it to the car as he starts to throw up blood. He tries to open the door but it's locked, so instead, he takes out his phone to call the police, only to get distracted by the sudden beeping of the car door. He tries to open it again to no avail, even while the door keeps beeping over and over. It's Rebecca, who is pressing the button on the remote key control to keep him busy until she catches up with him. By the time Rebecca finally reaches his side, Teddy has passed out against the car, so she puts down the camera and records herself stealing the engagement ring from his pocket and putting it on before stabbing him. Afterward, she drives the car back to the house with the body in the trunk, and once inside, she washes her hands before adding the ring to the collection on her necklace. Then she goes down to the storage room, where she finds the SOS video Claire made as finished uploading. Rebecca worries about the possible repercussions for a moment, but soon those worries go away when she sees the comments. All the viewers think this is acting and clickbait, so nobody believes it. Happily smiling, Rebecca lets the computer play the rest of their videos while she takes care of Claire's body. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.